Who is in the house? Let's see you. Say hi. Remember, you need to say hello so I can see you. And there's nothing wrong in shaking your head, tapping your legs, or actually standing up to dance. Yeah. Okay. Say hello, say hello. Okay? All right. So let me see. Welcome everyone. Busola, I see you here. I think Pastor Shola would even know that you're here because of him. Tosin, Lioness, thank you. Hello. Empress, hello. Okay. Hello, Dio, tuning in. Salutes, Dr. Shola. Dr. Shola, I need to tell you, there's some people that they're showing up today just because you are the guest.
Oh, okay.
Just because you are the guest, when they saw that you were coming, they're group members, but when they saw that you were coming, they're like, oh, I'm going to set my alarm. Now, when we start talking about men, children, mental health disorders with men, children, military people, and adolescent, Busola, I better see you, okay? So welcome everyone. As you all can see, we have a special guest in the house today, and I cannot even contain my excitement. It is such a great honor to have him here, and I know we're gonna have a swell time. So welcome. Please share this video, share the link. I'm broadcasting this outside the group because of Dr. Shola's audience as well. So welcome everyone. So he is an on point man. Yes, we're going to see that today. And we're going to see Dr. Shola being on point as it relates to mental health today. So, sir, welcome on my Mental Health Matters Facebook group. This is the coolest mental health awareness group on earth, hands down. Okay. Thank you. And to have you here talking to us about relationship, it is such an honor, and I know we're going to learn a great deal today. So let's dive right into it. Let's just start. And I don't know. Okay, Pastor Shola, a brief introduction to those of our members who are not in the Raw family, because there are people from over 16 countries in this group. And I would like you to please introduce yourself to them.
Well, thank you very much, my sister. God bless you. I really appreciate you for inviting me to come here. I was telling my wife when I was coming, I said, I'm going to be hosted by one mental health doctor and stuff like that. We're going to be talking about mental health issues. So I personally, I don't really like people referring to me as Pastor Shola. I don't like it. I love it when I'm in church. You call me Pastor Shola when I'm on the stage. When I'm on the stage ministry, you call me Pastor Shola because at that time, I am actually pastoring. The moment I step out of the altar, I become this Shola guy that can eat pounded yam, this Shola guy that can yell at people, this Shola guy that can get angry, this Shola guy that is actually human being. and I can kiss my wife and hold my wife and all kinds of stuff without being judged.
Yeah.
So, because people, when they see pastor, 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 they believe that pastor is the assistant of God. But me, I'm not the assistant of God. I'm just this regular guy. So, Dr. Shola Adioye is a very gentle guy. When you meet me live, when I get on the internet, I actually turn around and become something else. That sometimes I ask myself, what
Who
exactly
are
is wrong
you?
with you? And stuff. It's like there is a power that will consume me at that time when I'm on the social media. I am a husband, a father, a mentor, a businessman. I'm a relationship coach and counselor. And at the same time, I'm a pastor of a church here in Houston and New York City as well. May the God Almighty continue to be with everybody. Thank you very much. And thank you for having me today.
Okay, thank you, sir. You're welcome. So, one of our group members, who is actually a very good resource person,
Yeah.
Olori Jai, she's calling you a table. She said, Pastor Shola, the table breaker. And here you are breaking it already. Like, don't call me Pastor Shola. I'm not here to pastor. So you're already showing us what a glimpse of what we're in for today, which is going to be very, very educative. So yes, so we Pastor Shola, there's this. Okay, I need to learn to say Dr. Shola. So, Dr. Shola, there's this problem with relationships out there. We've had this session in the group. Actually, we had what we called an in series in the group recently, where we talked about infidelity, infertility, insensitivity, and one other in. And we talked about, infidelity was a big issue. We had somebody even come on the show to share our own personal experience. And we're hearing it even other than the statistics that we have on the internet in different countries and around the globe. We know that there's this surge in divorce, separation, and marital issues. Now, as far as you are concerned and from your experience, what are the common causes of marital issues? Or that people, if not even married people, that are in relationship, what are the common causes you have seen?
Okay. I want to say thank you one more time. And I want everybody, please listen carefully so that we will be able to have questions and all that. When you have any question, just write it down. There's going to be time for question and answer. You'll be able to ask me questions, and we will be able to attend to it. Now, looking from outside, not from the inside of the church, even when we look outside of the church as human beings generally, because many people believe that the whole Bible is written for the Christians. No, the whole Bible is not written for the Christians. It's written for humanity. The blessing of the Garden of Eden is not the blessing for Christians. It's a blessing for humanity, everybody under the sky. Now, when we're looking at marriage, you will find out that marriage started from the Garden of Eden. God created Adam and Eve, gave them that opportunity to be man and woman and all that kind of stuff and everything. So we all believe that it's actually important for us to be married. But I want to say something real quick that not everybody will be married. So one major problem we are having that is actually creating a big wave in marriage is pressure. Some people are being pressurized to get married when they are not ready, when they are not created for it. So, one major cause of divorce is lack of preparation. People are not prepared for marriage. They believe that the moment you get to the age of 23 or you get to the age of 30, you are matured enough. Maturity has got nothing to do with age. All right? You can be 50 years old and still not be matured up to the level of a 14-year-old kid. So some people are pressurized, they're being pushed. All right? They're being pushed into the relationship. Not everybody's going to be married. All right? Some people are not created for marriage, and some people have died and they are not married. So many people, some people died at childbirth. Some people, I mean, at a very young age. Some people died at 15, some at 17, and they were all single. So Christians always believe that there is a man for every woman. I want to let you know that that's a lie. Some people will not get married until they die. Some people are actually created to be single, and they will be. Even the Bible records that some people are going to be eunuchs. Even Paul was not a married man. He said, "Can you remain single like I am single?" so you can dedicate yourself to the work of God. Number two is the issue of money. Money is one major cause of separation in marriage because sometimes a man may think like, okay, you go better one day, you go better one day. I'm old enough to get married. And then you get married and then you find out it's difficult to even feed yourself or feed your family. And a woman will always want to push you. Women always want to push men to achieve. It's not because they want to destroy a man. I always want to tell my clients, I tell them, I say, you see, a man is like a lake and a woman is like a tornado. So when a lake is sitting, it becomes a kind of a nasty water because that lake is not flowing. All right. So when it's not flowing, we cannot refer to it as a river. All right. It's not good for drinking. It's not good for nothing. So it's just sitting right there. So when the tornado will come in to mess with the lake, the tornado will spin the lake around to create a channel for the lake to flow. And then before you get to know it, there's going to be a channel that will be broken, and then the lake will start flowing and then become a flowing water that we refer to as a river. So the woman always wants to put a little bit of push on a man to achieve, because they want to have money. People do say money is not marriage. I want to let you know that money is actually the wheel of marriage. The same way marriage is the wheel of the gospel, Jesus cannot move from here to there. Gospel cannot move from here to there without money. That's why the Bible says money is the wheel of the gospel. So also money is the wheel of marriage. Marriage rotates on money. So when there's no money in the relationship, the man will be pushed. And the moment a man gets pushed a little bit, they turn around and they say, oh, this woman is so bossy. This woman is so bossy. I don't like you. I'm going to divorce you. So they divorce those women because of that little push that women are bringing. Number three is church. Church is another major cause of divorce today. All these pastors, they lock the women up in church. They come to church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday they go to church 10 o'clock. They come back from church 9 o'clock at night. Doing what? Nonsense. Nonsense. They don't cook for their husband. They don't take care of their children in the house anymore. So the church is contributing big time to divorce. But they do not know. They believe, oh, we are preparing them ready for eternity. How can you be preparing them ready for it? They're not dead yet. They're still alive. They want to be alive. And that's why Jesus said to them, he said, give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. You cannot take the life of a man and put that person in a church the entire life of a man. He will not be productive. They are supposed to have a mean time. They're supposed to have husband and wife time. They're supposed to have family time. That's what makes life to go the way it should go. So the church is contributing to it by locking women up in church. Number two, the church is contributing to it by teaching fake doctrines, fake and false doctrines. Do you know a lot of churches, they teach men that you are the head of the house, your wife is your slave? They teach women to submit to their husband regardless. We don't want to know maybe the man is good or not. Maybe the man is abusive or not. Just submit. That is not the intention of God. God wants the man to love his wife, and then the wife to submit to a loving man. A loving man will request, or actually is attracting submission. A loving man attracts submission. All right? So, but the church is not telling the truth because those pastors are abusive themselves. So they want to cover up by teaching the men to rule their wives. God had no intention for a man to rule his wife. What he said is for a man to protect the wife, supply the need of the wife, and love the wife. There is nothing like ruling. We are both equal because we were created on the same day. You know, people don't know. They didn't know that we were created on the same day. The Bible says male and female, he created them. It was the same day, but the woman was inside of the man. So when the man was alone, God brought the woman out of the man so he could be able to relate and talk to the woman. That was what happened. They were created on the same day. God brought the woman to him, and that was it. So he was supposed to respect his wife, supposed to cherish his wife, supposed to care for his wife, and supposed to protect his wife. So the church is not teaching the right doctrine. They are silencing women. And it's actually so funny now that women are now with a voice. The women have gone to school. They are medical doctors today. They are lawyers today. Women are president of countries today. They are vice president of countries today. So when a man comes in and he say, hey, the woman will say, hey, what?
It was.
This
Yeah.
man. And now the men are now scared right now. They're scared right now because the women that used to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, please forgive me, they are now saying, you know what, I'm demanding for explanation. Women are now demanding from him. That's why Yoruba people say, Tọ́wọ́ ẹni bá ti èkú dà, ó máa bèrè ikú tó pa bàbá ẹ̀. Ọwọ́ àwọn obìnrin ti tẹ èkú dà. They are educated now. They are more influential than before. They have a voice. There are organizations that are actually protecting women right now. And now women are now sorosoke. They are bonesoke in every corner. They are very successful now that now divorce is so rampant because men don't want to accommodate a prosperous woman. Men are scared they are scared of a successful woman. They are intimidated by a successful woman. They could not bear the success of a successful woman. They could not bear the testimony of a great woman. So they are actually very intimidated right now. So they run out of marriage. They run out of marriage. And then the next one that I want to talk about is infidelity. Too many choices in the society. I'm not going to lie to you guys. You guys know me that I speak the truth. I'm a pastor, but I have two eyes. I see beautiful women when I see them. All right. The only thing that a lot of women don't have is we don't have self-control. Lack of self-control is making infidelity to actually multiply because women are packaging. They are packaging like a no man's business. You will just see a usher come to church. She's already ready to do her usher business, breast pointing like this, bum shooting out, and she's coming all around the place. I'm telling you, all the men in the church, they will start wearing sunglasses to church. And they wear sunglasses to church. You will say, why are you wearing sunglasses in church?
So that they can be looking and nobody will see what they're looking at.
The house is going up and down. And that's why they always want to be in the media department. They will now tell the cameraman to be going zoom, 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 zoom. That will be zooming in and zooming out. So it is inside the cubicle, they are looking at everything going on. So at the end of it all, the wife in the house is not packaging well. The wife at the house has given up about dressing. She doesn't look good like she used to look anymore. So the men are now looking outside because of lack of self-control. And that is actually getting more right now because a lot of men are engaged in it. Some of our men are having kids outside. Some of them are having wives in Nigeria. Some people are having wives in 2 countries of the world and all kinds of stuff like that. So that is causing a lot of commotion in marriage. So there are so many reasons why people are getting divorced today. Sickness can cause it also. Lack of job can cause it also. Lack of good orientation can cause it also. And all manners of things. So that we can just be able to manage our time. That's just the few I feel we should talk about today. And then finally is the mental health issue. It's causing mental health issue. You said what?
I said, thank you. Welcome to the show.
Mental health issue is causing this whole wahala. But Nigerian community, Nigerian society, we always want to take that one out of the picture. We take it out. The moment we see a guy who is actually wearing a t-shirt, a nice necklace, the guy's got a goggle, he's looking fine, we believe it's normal. We believe it's normal. We didn't understand or we refuse to understand that depression is a mental health issue. When somebody is depressed, that is madness. All right? There's so many levels and categories of craziness in the life that we live today. Now, so many people are depressed. So they become depressed and then it's a mental situation. They are mentally challenged. Every little thing that you do will irritate them. And the next thing they want to do is to react. Some of them will have beaten up their wife before they realize this is my wife. Some of them must have done some things before they realize this is my wife, I'm doing this to. And then they start crying. When you see a man after beating you and the man says, oh, I am sorry. I didn't know I was beating you. You're supposed to go and call a doctor instantly. Say, all right? But so many of you will say, oh no, he's so loving, so caring. He has realized his mistake. You're about to die. All right. So many things going on. So mental health issue is one of the reasons why people get separated and actually eventually get divorced in a relationship. And most of the time it's on the side of women because a lot of our men are going through a lot. And that's why men die so young. They die young because they have so much in their head. Instead of them exposing themselves and talking, they don't talk. They live inside of themselves. And then that will now cause mental issue for them.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I mean, you even in the other points that you made, like when you talked about money, poverty. Poverty is one of the risk factors or predisposing factors for people who can, who already had something underlining any underlining mental issue.
Issue, yeah.
Then church, even though you talked about spending too much time, but I am picking that out on the mental health part as not having enough productive time with the family. Then gender inequality, when you talk about the indoctrination and how it's impacting the spouse, like men, they start having self-esteem issues.
Yeah.
These are mental health issues that as a result of something else is coming to it. And infidelity, lack of self-control, that's also something that can be dealt with on the mental health part. But and I'm glad that mental health is the last one that you mentioned. Even though, as you said, it's, yeah, we read madness and stuff like that. Part of it's one of I know that stigma is one of the issues, and the language, the things that we call those things are the things that people do not want to associate themselves with. And I know I can see Dr. Ifediora here. She's one of our mental health advocates too, and she's very good when it comes to teaching and talking about the language that we use so that we make mental health issues not to be different from medical issues, so people are more willing and open to seek help. So thanks for mentioning that. But now, building up on that last point of mental health, in as you see your clients, and how often do you identify mental health or suspect that this issue might be as it what's going on between this couple, or maybe this single person that is hesitating or that has issues or the fear of getting married? How often do you notice or suspect that it has to do with mental health, and do you refer people to mental health professionals?
Yes, you will believe with me that uh, every of the cases that we're seeing, everything is tied up to mental health issues.
Right,
Everything.
right,
Just like you said, just like the doctor online, sickness, lack of employment, poverty, bad parenting, and all of that stuff contribute to it, and everything is actually connected to mental health, and we don't know. So when we listen to them, when we listen to these people, it's not going to be right for us to instantly just say, "Oh, you're having a situation here that you need to see a doctor." So what we do is that we will actually first of all counsel them, and then the next thing is now we now use the spiritual part of what we do as a spiritual person to pray with them, and then lastly we can now ask them to see one of our therapists that is actually registered with us or that we are registered with, connected with. So we make it very easy for them to connect with such a kind of person, and sometimes I do go with them. So we sit together while they are actually just seeing this therapist and stuff like that. So we recommend and we always want them to see a therapist constantly, because by the time you're actually feeling inferior, by the time you're feeling inferior to your wife, it's a mental health issue. All right. We want to take you to a place where we'll be able to show you pictures of this. Let me give you an instance. There's a case that I have right now. This man got married to his wife when the wife was still in the nursing school. She had nothing. She was zero. She couldn't even afford to pay her house rent. So they got married at that time. The guy was driving Uber. So the guy was living in a two-bedroom apartment. He was paying the bills, was bringing food and all kinds of stuff like that. Paying the car note, paying the insurance, utility, everything with the money he was making from driving Uber. While the woman was going to school. So after some few years, this woman passed out. I mean, finished the school, and she took an exam and all kinds of stuff, and then she passed her exam. Got a job instantly for $31 or $35 an hour. And then she started working, working, working. After some few years, she was able to make enough money to put down a down payment on the house. So she called the husband and said, I have money for us to buy a house. So they bought the house. Before they got to know it, she put down another money for them to buy a property in Nigeria. They did. So the husband went to Nigeria to meet the parent, and the parent said, wow, you need to go and meet a pastor. And then they went to pray, and the pastor said, your wife is using your kadara. That your wife is now the one that is using all your goodness. And this thing now messed him up. Then he came back, he became very abusive. And then the wife was like, I don't know what's wrong with him and stuff like that. So when they came to me, I was able to point it out to him. I said, listen, guy, that woman went to school. While she was in school, she could not pay for bills, not because she doesn't have the potential. She does. And immediately she passed the exam. Now she got a good job and she's making money. And that's the proof that you're seeing. It's the result of her education that you're seeing right there. But you are stuck driving Uber. There's no way you could make the kind of money she's making because you don't have any certification. She's not using anything. Your Kadara is not using nothing. She's using her own life and her education to make the money. But at that point in time, that man already believed the prophet. So we need therapy at that time. I'm not certified to do that. So I have to recommend that they need to see a therapist for that reason. And I have some of them that I use. I always just give them a note and then let them go and see a therapist and be able to do it. But eventually, we're able to correct the mindset. We're able to correct them. Sometimes it's not like you're going to be on medication. Sometimes it's all about explanation. Sometimes it's about massaging your spirit, massaging your mind, and actually opening your mind up to what you need to understand. So that's exactly what we do.
Thank you, and I hope that other religious leaders or other leaders at places, but I will focus on religious leaders here. And other people, those that are in the people business. I hope that they will also take a cue from this and make it part of their plan to refer people when they notice something and they're not qualified to do it, so they can help people. But so, Joe, what how do people react when you recommend any kind of mental health treatment for them? What's the common reaction you get?
Africans don't like it. They don't like it. They don't like you calling them mad person, crazy person. They believe anytime you say you need to see a therapist, a psychiatric doctor, they believe that you're saying that they have mental issue. And the mental issue that we see in Africa is the way that walks all around the street and naked and all kinds of stuff and everything. But I've been to therapy like almost about 5 times. I've done mental health evaluation and all kinds of stuff like about 2 3 times already. It's not like we're calling you mad. It's that we want you to actually go and check, like you do your health checkup like every year. You're supposed to check your brain too. You're supposed to check your mind. You're supposed to see a doctor that actually that specialized in that. You're supposed to go for therapy. I've been to therapy. I took what do you call it? Anger management about 5 times. Anger management about 5 times. And this therapist said to me, he said, whenever you are angry, count 1 to 50. It's as simple as that stuff. Count 1 to 50. I was like, what do you mean? Now, whenever I'm angry, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He said, every time you miss one, you start all over. So every time I start all over, I start all over. And at the end of the day, by the time I get to 50,
Right.
I'm cool. And then the second one told me, whenever you're angry, just walk all the way to the fridge, pour a glass of water, and drink it. By the time I'm walking to the fridge, I'm opening the fridge, pouring the stuff, and my mind is gone. And I'll be like, sweetheart, I gotta go out. I'll be back. And I go. So this is as simple as all of this stuff. That they didn't say, oh, you are crazy, you need to take medication. I know that they have this strategy, they have what they need, you to know to be able to correct all these things. So Africans don't take it, they don't like it, they don't appreciate it. They don't like you telling them they have to see a therapist. They don't like it when you tell them that, oh, you are depressed, you need to find help. You need to see someone who is actually in that field. But it seems like right now the American Nigerians, the Nigerian Americans that are born here, they are totally different. Those ones are responding gradually to seeing a therapist and all that. And I believe at their jobs too, they kind of like actually refer them to see a therapist. So they go, now they understand what happens there. It's not like, oh, they're not giving you injection, they're not tying you down to the bed and all kinds of stuff like that. So it's improving gradually. It's improving, but I think we need more awareness. We need to create more awareness about this, and we need to do it inside of church. The churches must embrace this as we are preaching spiritual healing, preaching deliverance. We must preach about mental health issue and then refer them to a therapist. And as a matter of fact, we supposed to, as a church, supposed to have a therapist in-house. A therapist in-house, or we can have a therapist that we can register with, that anytime we have any situation in church, this therapist can come in and teach and educate the people so that they can be aware of what's going on. And people can wait after service to see that therapist in the office to actually have a little bit of chat with that kind of a person. It's going to help our community a lot.
Thank you so much. You've mentioned very, like a lot of, you've mentioned a lot of important things, in this answer. Number one, I thank you for sharing with us that you have had to see a therapist too. And it's not like anything so negative. It is just part of self-care. So please, to everyone out there, and I would extend this to leaders, extending it to pastors, leaders generally, either you're an organizational leader, a spiritual leader, a healthcare leader, professionals, even like myself, we have to see therapists. We need it's self-care. Now, there's a time where you use it for self-care, and there's also the place of taking it as treatment, where you're actually going to have a schedule, a number of sessions that you will do to treat yourself for something. And like everybody in my mental health matters group will tell you, you can either do one or three things to treat a mental disorder or any mental issues. It can be medication, it can be counseling, or psychotherapy. I don't want to call it counseling, they're different. It can be medication, pharmacotherapy,
Mhm.
it can be psychotherapy, and it can be a combination of both.
Of both.
But all those things, they help us. And even if you're taking medication, how do you feel if you have to take medication to be able to function optimally,
Yeah.
than you not taking medication and the life is just going, your life is going as a waste? Or
Mhm.
if you go for number of sessions and you'll be able to be more productive than not being productive. And I'm glad you mentioned that about the workplace. They call that EAP, Employee Assistance Service. The EAP thing, please ask for it. If you work in an organization, ask your HR. It is your organization that is paying for it. You will have so number of sessions. You go for it. It's just it can just be for self-care. We don't have to wait till something terribly wrong before we do it. So, Pastor Salah, thanks for mentioning that.
And let me quickly chip this in so that a lot of the Nigerian people on the line will understand, or probably Africans generally.
We have a lot of Africans in
Yeah,
this.
a lot of Africans, let them listen to this. I'm not saying don't worship God. I'm not saying don't believe in God. All right. I said something at my church recently. I asked them a question. I said, some people say prayer changes all things. I said, do you believe it? They say, yeah. I said, but you took an exam like about 3 months ago. He said, yes. I said, why did you fail? You didn't pray? He said, I prayed. But why did you fail? Prayer didn't change that. Oh, sorry. Your mom was sick, was in the hospital. We prayed, and your mom eventually died. So what happened? Didn't you pray? They said, yeah, I prayed. And so I said, you are fired on your job sometimes ago. Yeah? All right. How come? Did you pray? Now, you see, Nigerians, Africans generally, please, I want to just say this to you guys. All right. You guys may think I'm not born again, but you are making a big mistake. I am actually very spiritual. I balance spiritual and physical together. Now, when the missionaries came to Africa, the missionaries, they brought three things. Number one, they brought the church to educate the mind and the soul and the spirit. Now they brought the school to educate us so that we can be educated. Number three, they came with the hospital so that we could be treated when we are sick. Part of the hospital is what we are talking about now. You need to go and see a therapist. Don't just pray. Prayer alone is not what it's gonna help you. All right. God has already answered our prayers by giving us knowledgeable people, professionals who are professionals in the field, and they know exactly what to do to be able to take us to that point whereby we can be free. Don't ever in your life say, I'm not going to a therapist. Some of you guys are fighting now. I don't want to get vaccination. I don't want it. There is a chips inside of it. You are just fooling yourself. There's a new wave of corona coming right now. It's going to It's going to kill a lot of more people. That's it. That's why it's not just about prayer. Some pastors died during Corona. It's not because they didn't pray. It's because they are ignorant. They're stupid. All right. So many church members died during Corona lockdown. It's not because they didn't pray. It's because they're stupid. All right. People are dying in Nigeria today because they believe, oh, there's no Corona in Nigeria. There's a lot of cases in Nigeria that is actually Corona related. And these people have died. And you are still sitting down there and still saying you are praying. God already answered your prayers. Go and meet the therapist and check yourself and know your state of mind, and then go home and make the adjustment. If it's a matter of you taking medication, take the medication. The medication is actually from herbs, from the tree and the roots of what God created. All right. If it's counseling that you need, go for counseling. Okay. Let the company you work for, let them pay for it. Actually, medical insurance are paying for counseling now too. You see, if you have medical insurance, your medical insurance provider, they will pay for it. All right. So you don't have to deprive yourself of anything. Treat yourself. What is going on right now? You're thinking about killing yourself. Is a sickness in your mind. I'm telling you, you don't want to keep this going. One day you're going to take a knife and cut your own throat. Just by praying, just praying, 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 praying. Please wake up. And the Lord will bless you in all your ways in Jesus' name. Thank you.
Amen. Okay, so please trigger alert. Please don't cut yourself. If we have any cutter listening, please don't take this as a cue for you to cut yourself. If we have anybody that is dealing with any kind of suicidal thought, suicidal ideation, or something, and you heard that, it is not a sign for you to do it. Please just seek help. Okay, what is saying here, and I know that I am so. I think this is a point I'll ask that question. The question I wanted to add last, Dr. Shola, that as you're speaking now, you have a lot of followers on social media. You are an authority on social media, and so many people listen to you and they take to what you say. Even though some people don't like it, and they make them block your Facebook page, just like we have now. But
Yeah.
I focus on leaders to help us with mental health awareness and to decrease mental health stigma.
Mhm.
Now, I have this class of leaders, spiritual leaders, political leaders, our policymakers. We have organizational leaders or people in the workplace organizational leaders, business leaders, and also we have social media influencers, and we have those who are in the entertainment industries, like musicians, like actors and actresses, and all of them. These people make significant impact. Now,
Yeah.
if we're to choose one of these categories of leaders, who do you think can take the lead and have the most impact? At least to start with, who? Where do we start from? And when you give us your answer, I will tell you what the category the class that I think should take the lead. What's your answer?
All right. Number one, people don't listen to the government. They don't listen to anybody in government. People only copy the musicians and the actors and actresses. They just copy their dressing, their language, or whatsoever. People listen to spiritual leaders. The spiritual leaders are who people listen to. If they tell them to drink homo, they will drink it. If they tell them to jump up, Africans will jump up. So the spiritual leaders are the ones that could take this campaign to the next level. All right. In our churches, do you know that when you go to Redeemed Christian Church, when you go to the Holy Ghost service, you're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of people inside of the congregation. When you go to Winners Chapel will host 50,000, 50,000, 50,000 people 5 times in a Sunday. You're talking about 50,000 times 5. That's the congregation that you're seeing right there. When you go to Olubi Johnson, when you go to Ade Farasin's church, when you go to Mountain of Fire, when you go to TB Joshua, these are people listen to the pastors, they listen to their spiritual heads. So these are the people that could take this stuff to the next level. And people take them seriously, they obey them, they respect them. And I believe if this mental health awareness and campaign can start from the house of God, it's going to go far. And people will be touched and blessed.
Thank you. That's the category that I also think can do this work, at least can start. One of our viewers said it's a collaborative effort, and I cannot agree more. You are right. It is a collaborative effort, both from the healthcare leaders, from spiritual. We can team up and do something, but it has to start from somewhere. And this is my own line of thought. It's like
My
there,
sister,
we
my sister,
have
let me say this to you. All the actors and actresses, don't you think they go to church? They go to church. They are under the leadership of the spiritual head.
exactly.
The social media influencers you're talking about, they go to church. They're in
Exactly.
the church.
Political leaders are there. Teachers
Political
are
leaders
there.
are in church. Right? The church is the place that brings every one of us together. The moment the
Exactly.
spiritual leader say go, everybody will go to their different platforms, and then they'll be going to be able to start the campaigns. The moment the spiritual head is nothing, do you know that if I remember one time during the election time, all of these politicians were going to the spiritual heads. The moment the spiritual leader endorses somebody, the
Yeah.
followers will vote for that person.
Right.
All right. So the moment I allow somebody to come on my altar and I lay my hands on him, I'm
Mhm.
indirectly telling my congregation this is the choice of God.
Yes, I approve of this
If,
person.
if these spiritual leaders should come out and say, you know what, there is a problem in the society, there is this mental health issue that is going on all around, we need to create awareness, we need to make sure we look for ways to attack it. Everybody in the congregation, even prostitutes in the congregation, will carry the campaign to their hotels. All right? Armed robbers will carry it to their gang. Everybody will carry it everywhere. Everybody's got a platform, but they are all underneath the spiritual head.
Right.
That's the guy.
Right. That's exactly how I came up with who to take the lead. That's how I because everybody is in the church. And I want to mention something real quick. When I said political leaders, people don't listen to political leaders. They just do what they like. But for any political person that is listening here, this is one thing I want you to consider. You guys are policy makers. There are things you put in place. There's a way they do things in the hospital because of the policy that is in place. There are policies for employment. There are policies for education. There are policies for everything. If our political leaders and those that are leading, leading in the political realm, can put some things in place to incorporate mental health into the things that we're doing, you can also be impactful in that way. But like Dr. Shola said, everybody goes to church. So our pastors, to every religious leader that is listening to us, and to those of you who are close to your spiritual leaders, please go out there and tell them you need to bring mental health professionals into the church. Now, here is one thing that I want to emphasize. I think that the awareness should start with the leaders themselves. So we should have the board of the diaconates. We should have leaders understanding what mental health is about, so that when they're even saying it and bringing things, they are bringing it from the perspective of information. It will be an informed decision, and it will not just be as if they just want to be a part of the trend. And this thing is very, very important. This thing is very, very, please, please, let's not take it for granted. Okay. So now, this thing is so important. Now, there's something I want us to talk about before you go,
Mhm.
and this is about sex. And this, I want to relate it to you working with couples. People don't want to talk about sex. And it is one of the issues. I was thinking maybe the sexual issue will be one of the points you're going to make when you were talking about the causes, but of course you wanted to limit it to a few. What are you seeing in that realm? And on the other side of it, when we're talking of going for therapy and seeking help, is what we have with addiction and a lot of people into pornography. And we have men in dealing and battling with all this, and we have women that are having mental health issues based on what their husbands are dealing with, either being neglected and stuff. And now I will add something that one of our viewers is saying. Lioness Oluwatosi, she has said something about, but why are men, why don't men like counseling, and why are they scared of counseling? So I want to relate these three things, sexual issues and problems, pornography and addiction, and then to the fact that a lot of men are scared of going for counseling. I want you to speak to this from the mental health perspective.
All right. I'm going to start from the last one.
Yeah.
It's not really that men don't want to go for counseling. It's not really that they don't want to go for counseling. They want to go for counseling, but they don't want to go to a pastor. They don't want to go to pastors. Men, they are too smart. We are very smart people. We don't operate like women do. Women will always go and report their husband to pastors, pastors, pastors. All right, and then the pastor will come on Sunday morning and start preaching about the whole stuff. So men don't like that kind of stuff, so they don't want to go and see a pastor. And some pastors are not even qualified to take relationship counseling. They are not qualified to do it. Because you're a pastor doesn't mean you can counsel me when it comes to my marriage. Some of them, they don't have that qualification to talk about marriage. So
Right.
men always love to go to a professional. They like to go to a professional counselor that they won't see him tomorrow. They won't see him next week. They get to see their pastor every day. Why will you go and tell my pastor about my sexual life? Why will you go and tell my pastor about me not being able to provide? Why will you tell my pastor about me not getting a job? I don't want nobody to know my business. So, but I can go to a professional counselor and then talk to a professional counselor, and then tomorrow I don't have to see him again. All right? And that's the issue. So when we say women, when you say, oh, husband don't like counseling, I have yesterday I had three men came here. Three men came to my office for counseling. All right. They know it's me that they're coming to see. When they got to me, I didn't quote one scripture. We didn't even pray. I just went straight to it. I said, can you give me the goal? What's the goal for today? Then the next thing is give me a background. They gave me background. And at the end of the day, we started discussing and discussing and discussing. I didn't even quote scripture at all. There is nothing like 3 days fasting and prayer. There is nothing like there is a demon affecting your marriage. There is nothing like that. All right. So men love to go for counseling, but they want to go to the right person. So if you want your husband to go for counseling, I want to recommend twice in a week. I mean, twice in a year, that people should go and service their marriage. Either you have problem, you don't have problem, you need to go to a counselor to sit down and look at all your short-time goals, long-time goals, situation that you feel like you need to discuss. Some certain things you cannot tell your husband straight up. You need a counselor to be there to do interpretation. We interpret what you are saying because of individual differences. People hear things, people listen to things in a different way. And if there is a situation on ground before, I bet you your
Yeah.
husband is already having a war. That word is never going to pass by. So as
Right.
a counselor, we interpret it to him and say, this is what your wife is trying to say.
Mhm.
And then because some of the men, they see their wife as a second-class citizen, they'll say, oh, Benny Lasson, what do you have to tell me? So they won't listen. But with the counselor, we will be able to interpret it to the man. So men love counseling. They only want to go to the right person for counseling. They don't like you coming to pastor. You don't want to, I have reported to my pastor. That's what men hate. They hate that big time. And that's why we always tell you, your pastor is a man, I'm a man. Let him go and take care of his family and take care of mine. You know? So, and the pastors always want to act like assistant of God. They always want to act like an assistant of God. Men don't like that at all. So number two question is issue about sex as a problem that could end up initiating divorce.
Right.
It's a major situation. Probably I forgot when I was doing the first one. It's supposed to be part of what I should have mentioned. I have a lot of cases when we're talking about sex. The church has prevented us from talking about sex. We couldn't talk about sex. When I started talking about sex on social media, people started talking about, oh, that guy is a demon. That guy is a demon. He doesn't know what he's saying. Maybe he's depressed. Maybe he's not mental. Even some of my friends call me and say, hey, Pastor Shola, are you depressed? And sometimes I just laugh. I said, these people are so stupid. You know, this is the situation. These things are getting divorced because of this. They are not sexually compatible. All right. Somebody is married to a wife who is actually sexually active, and the man is not on the same platform with her. The woman had to demand for sex and be begging for sex. The next thing is after 3 years, the woman will say, you know what, I'm done with this, I gotta go. But it's not easy for them to come to pastor and say, Pastor, I'm divorcing my wife based on sex.
Right.
Because people will say, you must be an unbeliever. You want to divorce your husband based on sex? That small thing? Is it food? But they have forgotten that sex is food. Let me give you a story. One woman reported the husband to me, and I called the man up and said, "Sir, I would love to see you in my office so that we can have a little session together with your wife." And then when they came, the woman didn't tell me what was going on. He only told me there is a problem in the home. And I said, "Sir, can you tell me what's going on?" And the man said, "Sorry, doctor, my wife reported me. Can you talk to her?" I looked at the woman and said, "Ma, can you tell me what's going on there? Is he not the one? Ask him." I told again, I said, "Sir." And then he said, "Is she not the one? Ask her." And then they started pushing me around. They started pushing me around. They didn't want to talk. Then I pretended to be a prophet. Then I said, "Madam, is it money?" And she said, "No, it's not money. It's a nurse. I'm a nurse." I said, "Is it communication?" He said, "No, we talk all the time. He's not talking." I said, "Is he abusive?" He said, "No, he can't lay his hand on me," and stuff like that. And then I said, "Madam, is it sex?" He said, you are a prophet. You are a prophet, sir. It is sex. Oh, my husband is 2 seconds noodle. 2 seconds noodle, my husband. I said, "God." That was the first time I'm hearing 2 seconds noodle. Then I asked, "Madam, please, can you please shed a little more light on this now?" And the problem is that a lot of our men, they have issues. Some that is related to this mental health issue that is not allowing them to function the way they should function. All right. When you are a man and you cannot satisfy your wife, it's the thing of the mind. The mind will give you that, the mind will communicate with your body. Your body will make yourself ready to be able to have sex with your wife the way it's supposed to be. It is from your mind that you'll be able to keep your erection. It is from your mind that you'll be able to satisfy your wife by sacrificing for your wife. You make her to come first. Now, so many times men don't understand this fact. They just want to be selfish. They want to just quickly just enjoy their own self, come, roll off, and sleep. And that's just 2 seconds right there. So most of the time, the women will end up initiating divorce because they feel like, okay, I'm not enjoying my life. I'm just 40 years old. I'm 30 years old in this relationship. Sex is a key thing in my life. Sex is something that I need to have constantly. I don't want to be going outside or probably using sex toys when I have a man under my roof that should satisfy me, but he's not doing his job. Now the problem is this: majority of the African men, we don't know what sex is all about. And that is why I go from home to home, door to door. I'm going everywhere teaching men and teaching couples how to engage in sexual activity. When they say romance, when they say you are romantic, it means that it's not that to be romantic doesn't mean that you are actually doing penetration. To be romantic means you know the language of love. To be romantic means that you know how to get your wife excited. To be romantic means that you have the love language that you can speak to your wife and you understand it so well that your wife is longing to hear you, longing to read from you, longing to be around you. You actually exchanging, or probably you are communicating with your wife through giving her gifts, communicating with your wife by cooking in the kitchen with her, communicating to your wife by giving attention to your wife, communicating with her by doing all manners of things that will actually bring her to understand that this man is in love with me. That's a romantic man. Going out for a candlelit dinner, going out on vacation all the time. You are setting up vacation time like 2 or 3 times in a year. That's being romantic. All right. Going out to eat on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. That's being romantic. Coming on with, with flowers. You come on with rose flowers and stuff. That's being romantic. Giving your wife a credit card and say, "Honey, go shopping." That's what is called romantic. All right. Telling your wife, "You know what, you can go out on ladies' night. I will keep the kid. I will be at home and keep the kid." That's being romantic. You are allowing your wife to go out and actually loosen up and be able to refresh herself, hang out with her own friend. She's not stuck at home with cooking. She's not stuck at home with children. That's being romantic. So the romance will give way for the sex to be on point because the two of you will so much connect. There won't be any kind of situation. Your wife will not feel like, "I don't want you to touch me." Your wife will not be angry. You are not angry. The two of you are on the same spot, and then sex will make a lot of sense at that point in time. I always want to teach men and women Whenever you want to engage in sexual relationship, a woman needs time to a woman needs time to plan. They need to plan with time. Give them the notice in the morning. Tickle your wife when she's cooking breakfast. All right, give her a kiss. So many Nigerian men don't kiss their wives. Their women always tell me, "Anyone, their mouth is stinky. They don't brush their mouth in the morning at night." All right, so these are the things. Hygiene. Hygiene. Personal hygiene is so important for women. Don't wear the same boxer 3 times, 10 times. Take it off after wearing it first time. That's romantic. All right. So a lot of men don't kiss their wife. They don't hold their wife's hand in the public. These are signs. These are signals that will actually trigger the woman to get ready for you for tonight. And sex is not supposed to be. It's not compulsory that sex must be at the night. At night. You can do sex in the morning, you can do it in the afternoon, you can do it at night. You need to understand positions and all kinds of stuff. It's not just only missionary style. Missionary style will actually make your wife to be tired. She will be bored and she won't actually want to give in because she's just so fed up of this missionary style that you are bringing. All of this stuff will contribute to it. Your bedroom is very important. I always tell women and men, when you have a master's bedroom, that is your matrimonial room. Your matrimonial room must have a solid bed, and the bed is not supposed to be the one with hollow in the middle. All right. Make sure you buy the right kind of mattress for your bedroom. Your pillow, your bed sheet must actually be on point. And make sure that your window is blocked with a very thick curtain, a light curtain in the middle, a thick curtain on the side that you can close it. There will be no light coming from the outside. And that's what they do in hotels. When you go to hotels, you will find out there is a light curtain at the back and there is a thick curtain on top of it. They want to promote sex when you come there. They want you to be able to close the blind and use the blind to regulate the light that is coming in. In the dark, there is so much that goes on in the brain of a man when the place is dark. So it's promoting sex constantly. Number two, the next thing is your bathroom. Your bathroom must be free and clear. The two of you must be able to take shower together. You must be able to enter into the bathtub and shower together. Make sure you wash every part of the body you are going to put your mouth. Wash every part because body odor is a turn off. Body odor is a turn off. A lot of men will just be coming from work and just come and jump in bed and say, okay, let's have sex. All right? Why will I kiss you when your mouth is smelling? Why will I put my mouth on you when your body is stinking? So you need to go to the bathroom and wash. The two of you must wash, okay, and clean up and make sure you wash every part of your body that your mouth is going to touch. Oral sex is a thing. Many of you Christians will say, anything moving bad, anything moving bad, and that's why your husband is running away. Side chicks are doing it, all right, and that's why your husband is going to a side chick, all right. Let me tell you that. So when you now come to bed, always make sure that you have a music box in your bedroom that you can turn the music on. Don't have a TV in your bedroom, have a music box. And when you want to play the music, they call some songs, they call them love songs. Don't play praise and worship. Don't say, you are great, yes, you are. Mighty God. And you want to have sex with your wife will just automatically kneel down and say, let us pray. And let us pray because the woman is religious. Let us pray. And that's going to be the end of the sex. The kind of song you are supposed to play. We're talking about Martingale. We're talking about Cool and the Gang. We're talking about all of these love songs. We're talking about Tosin Martins. Tosin Martins. Oh, no, pam, pam, oh, me, pam, pam, pam. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi, pam, pam, pam. Olólùfẹ́. Those people be on the ground as you get in bed. You find out that the foreplay is going to take you from just 2 seconds noodle, will take you all the way to 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes. Because now you can kiss your wife on the lips, kiss her neck, suck her hair, go all the way to the breast, all the way to the navel, all the way down there, and take care of business. And then you come and then your wife will flip you around and she will do the same to you. You will enjoy your sex life. You will enjoy your sex life. And there won't be any kind of corner. When a woman is angry, she will tell you right there. When a man is angry, he will tell you right there. You too will be exhausted. So many of our men don't understand that women can come. Women come, oh, they reach orgasm. And many of our Nigerian women don't know what orgasm is all about because they just believe that they just lie down on the bed and the man will jump on them and just do pumpy for 3 seconds and the man will just fall off and then that's the end of the whole sex. So we need to learn the act of sex. Now, majority of the time when we don't get this stuff, a lot of women will go out of the relationship. Some men will go out of the relationship and then they start having affair outside and all kinds of stuff and everything. And that is actually one major cause of situation, of divorce in a Christian home. Number two sex is that the sex we are talking about is a therapy. You may not understand this. When you see a woman that is getting it constantly, just like my doctor that is looking at me right now. Okay, doctor is looking at me looking fresh, looking like a today bread. The husband is doing a good job, and that's why she's calm. Now let me not lie to you. Anytime I get it before going to church, my preaching is always different. I go to church and be like, Reke Baba Santalia. And they say, Pastor Sola, Agbára pọ̀ lẹ́ni o, agbára pọ̀. You know what I'm saying? Because now my body is calm. It's a therapy. It makes my brain work well. Blood will flow in your body. Blood will flow in your body. You feel good. It's a connection between you and your wife. When I'm standing there, I'll be looking at her face and she will be smiling. And she's smiling, and that smiling is giving me encouragement. All right? Compared to when we didn't have sex and she's angry, I'm angry, and I look at her face, she will just look at me and turn her face away, and then the message is not going to come. Now, sex is a therapy. It makes your body to function correctly. The blood will flow to where it's supposed to flow to. And then majority of the time, when the husband is always squeezing the breast of the wife, it prevents breast cancer. Breast cancer can be prevented when a man is always squeezing the breast. I always tell men, always make sure your wife will submit her breast to be squeezed. It's a therapy. It will help women a lot. So many women will say, oh, I have a client. Doctor, I have a client. She told her husband, he said, squeeze my breast. The husband said, I don't want it to fall. The wife said, what are you talking about? Come on, squeeze this thing. He said, no. So they came to me. I said, bro, now you get the breast. Is the breast your own? The woman is saying that if you squeeze it, that's when I get the effect. Squeeze the thing. And stop. Their marriage is actually totally different right now because the guy is doing what the woman loves. All right? Some people don't understand that when you talk about caressing the breast of a woman, there's an effect to it. And that's why the Bible says, let the breast of your wife satisfy you. It's in the Bible. In the book of Solomon. Go read it. Don't just be reading Psalm 95, Psalm 20, Psalm 20. Read the book of Solomon. You will become a Mr. Loverman. When you read that, you will understand. All right? So when you read it, go and Google it, that can squeezing of the breast prevent breast cancer. Go check it out. It's part of what they use. All right? To do this. So you caress it, you do it, you touch it, everything. Put your mouth to it. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you are only putting your mouth on one breast. When you start putting your mouth on breast, you are causing yourself. Because the breast is a source of blessing. It's a source of blessing in a relationship. The breast is a source. That's why they call God the big-breasted man. Because that's where you get the breast will feed you. You get fed by the breast. That's why when you see baby, when they're sucking the breast of their mother, they look at the face of the mother with gratitude, with blessing in their hearts. And that's why men also, whenever they lie down beside their wife, they always want to reach out for the breast. They want to put their mouth on it. And you see women will always rub your head when you're sucking the breast. That is, you're actually being fed. Even though there is no liquid coming out into your mouth, there is a spiritual connection that's coming out. That's the reason why the Bible says, let the breast of your wife satisfy you. All right? It's a very important thing. And it's a therapy. It's a therapy also. Now, right. You are now engaged in this stuff. Number one, you're going to be able to prevent stress. Stress will actually get out of your life. Number two is that there will be connection. You see, when the Bible was talking about, and the two of them shall cleave together and shall become one flesh, the one flesh and the cleaving together is in sexual relationship. And let me shock you with this, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Marriage is not solidified by the altar. The altar, do you marry this person in a congregation? That's not where marriage is solidified. Marriage is solidified and initiated on the matrimonial bed. And that's why the Bible says if you lie down with a prostitute, at that point in time, heaven is recording it that the two of you are married. And many people don't know. So when you cheat, when you leave your matrimonial home to go and cheat in a hotel, you are breaking the covenant between you and your wife and entering into a new covenant between you and the person you are sleeping with. And that's exactly what you're doing. So sexual relationship is what solidifies marriage, that establishes marriage is on the matrimonial bed. Now, finally, before I just yield the microphone to the woman of God, is that many of you guys who don't share the same bedroom, you are only giving yourself headaches. Now, when you 10% of marriage is done in the bedroom, 90% of marriage is in the living room. So, living room is where we talk about mortgage, rent, car note, children, Western Union, extended family, in-law, jobs, and all that. So we deal with all this stuff right there in the living room. We yell, we fight. And then when you now go to your room, go to my room, you know who's going to sleep on the bed with me? The devil. The devil will now say, why will he allow her to talk to you like that? And then tomorrow when we wake up, it doesn't say better. But if we go to the same room, that is the matrimonial bed. Let me shock you, ladies and gentlemen. When you go out to sleep in another person's house, let's say you go to Sister Dio's house and you go and sleep there. When you enter into the guest room, I'm going to tell you, you are not going to sleep by 12 o'clock. You're still going to be rolling all around. By 2 o'clock, you are still rolling. But when you come back to your own home and jump in your own matrimonial bed, you just sleep off. Because your spirit connects with it. There's a connection. When your wife is sleeping next to you, there is a kind of a security that you believe somebody's got my back. Your wife is sleeping, your wife will feel somebody's got my back. And the two of you can touch each other and sleep. So when you are angry in the living room, by the time you get to the bedroom, I want to let you know somebody's leg will touch another person's leg. Right. And then you now say, Dayo, ma binu. And you know, at the end of the day, the makeup sex is actually always very great. Makeup sex is the best because you put your body and your soul into it. You want to satisfy that person. So the matrimonial bed is so important. Sex is a therapy. Sex is actually what brings husband and wife together. And I want to just let you know that 10% can heal all the wound that has been created by the 90% in the living room. So if you want to know more about sex, we can go on and on and on. But for now, because of our time, let me yield the microphone.
Right. So thank you for sharing all that. I mean, I didn't know about the fondling of the breast and all that, but you know, we can check. But you've told us a lot. But on a mental health perspective, he just told us sex is very therapeutic. Yes, it is, and I want you to take this from me as well. And there's so many benefits of stress. There's so many benefits of sex. One, it boosts intimacy, like he has explained to us, given us so many examples. But even for our brain, there are hormones that are secreted, or hormones that are triggered just by sex. We have dopamine. Dopamine is a reward system, the reward motivation and hormone. And it helps with attention and our focus. It helps us with motivation. That is there. It comes with having sex. We have endorphins. Endorphins, they're natural pain relievers. And we need endorphins in our system. Sex gives that to us. We also have oxytocin. That's the cuddle hormone. When it's talking about not sharing two different rooms, couples being together, the cuddle hormone is triggered by that feeling of compassion. And that's the oxytocin right there. We also have cortisol. I was privileged to talk in a group last week, Babes Redefined, and we talked about stress. And we talked about the ways to, distress. Cortisol hormone is a stress hormone. When sex actually reduces it, it decreases it. So it is one of those things that, these are some of the things I'm linking it directly to the brain, to the functions of the brain and how that it's really therapeutic, as he has told us. But on the other side, I want to quickly mention that from the mental health perspective, There's some sexual issues, sexual dysfunctions that will require you to see a mental health professional. That even after trying all the things that you need to try, you might have to see a professional like a therapist, a psychotherapist that can help you with this. Because for men, they can have sexual dysfunction that is ejaculation dysfunction. They can have erectile dysfunction. These things can go beyond just the medical phase, and you need a mental health professional to help you with it. And for women, we have orgasmic issues. They have orgasm issues. If you're not able to, achieve orgasm, or if it's not you, not just knowing, you know about it, you're trying to get to that level and it's not happening, you might need to see your medical person, and a mental health professional can help you with that too. And women also have the penetration problem, the issues with penetration when they have painful penetration, and it's just not right. It doesn't feel right when they're doing this. See your medical person, and you might also need to see a mental health professional to help you with that.
Yeah.
And we have the arousal dysfunction. So those are the three for women: arousal dysfunction, penetration dysfunction, and also the orgasmic dysfunction. For men, they have the erectile dysfunction and they have the ejaculation dysfunction. So please, while we're doing this and we're highlighting this, not just for medical reasons, everything is interwoven. With the mental health perspective of it is also very important. So please take note of it, as he has told us that this is very important. And I have learned a lot of a lot of tips from all the things that he told us. And if you want more, if you want to know more, or you need a session when it comes to relationship and sex, please reach out to Dr. Shola. He'll be glad to help you with that. And as we're wrapping up, Dr. Shola, as a leader and an authority in your right, and as it has to do with the spiritual side and with relationship, I want you to please address here leaders that might be watching, not just spiritual leaders, but as many people that a lot of people look up to. As far as mental health stigma is concerned, we need help. The stigma needs to go down for the benefit of all of us. So that if we have a safe environment where we can all seek help when we need it without any judgment or without feeling like an outsider. Please help me encourage, admonish, or however you want to address the leaders here, and those that are close to leaders. If you're a wife of a leader, we all actually have a leader in us, for our family, for our children. Bullying, all those things are happening. Please help me address leaders on how they can support us with mental health awareness and decrease the mental health stigma.
Well, yes. What we did, you know, when we wanted to penetrate the church as per, relationship, marriage, just to create awareness about divorce and all that, what we did was we actually called all these leaders together. We did a presentation that we are not saying your prayers are not being answered.
Right.
It is part of what God is doing that made us to go sit down and then to learn all these things, to discover all of this stuff. And we believe that there is a solution now, and this is what we think. And then they listened to the presentation. At the end of the day, they started inviting us to come to their churches one by one, to come over and actually do presentations and stuff. And then sometimes I'll be in a place for 3 days. The couples will be coming in one by one to see me and all kinds of stuff. And I believe this method, we can use the same method for the mental health awareness also, to be able to create this awareness at the same time. Um, I believe we should, all leaders, should be able to open up. Because see, the people you are leading, they need help. Even you yourself, you need help. The other day I saw on the news a Ghanaian pastor killed his wife. And sometimes we believe, oh, it's just okay, it's just normal. It's not normal. There's certain things going on the ground that we might not see. So I want to use this moment to encourage and to beg all leaders. Either you're a spiritual leader or government leader or whatsoever it is that you are, in as much as you're leading people, your people need help. It's not just about praying. So I believe you need to go and connect to all these professionals here. Just like Sister Dayo is saying right now, she's well knowledgeable in the field. She knows exactly what she's saying. We can actually have her come to all of our churches and for her to come over and do presentation and stuff as we pray along, so that whatever it is that she's delivering can penetrate the heart of people, and we will be able to have results by the grace of God. So I believe this is the right thing to do. It's possible for you as a pastor not to like me. That's okay. But the usual is that I'm not trying to destroy your business that you're doing. I'm not trying to prevent you from making money. But at the same time, you're making money, but I still want you to be able to service your members and get them to a kind of a state whereby they will have good mental capacity and everything and be able to live their life properly. So I think the best thing for us to do is for us to come together. All right. Let's have a meeting together. I'm willing to support. I'm willing to stand. I'm willing to call people that followed me, that we could come together and listen to this presentation over and then be able to go to our different churches and create this awareness and invite these professionals to come in and do what they are called to do. You see, people are professionals in their fields. You are a pastor and you're a professional on the altar. You cannot do it all. You can't have it all. All right? It's just like a musician, a drummer, a keyboardist. I can't be preaching at the same time be playing the drums. So also, these professionals can come in and be a blessing to our churches. So I think we should need to open our doors to them. I think each church, each of us, we're supposed to have a therapist that we submit to, someone that can come into our churches, into our church to educate our members. And I think it's going to be great for us to do that. So in case you are actually willing, if you are listening right now, and you're listening at this moment, and you are interested in doing this, the best thing I would like you to do is to reach out to Dr. Dayo Adeyemo. Reach out to her. I put your name down, your phone number, your church address, your meeting places, and all kinds of stuff, and we can work it out, whereby we can actually hold a meeting with you, or actually have a Zoom meeting with you to talk about when to come into your church or when to come to organization to be able to educate people. Now, it's not just about Christians alone. You can be Alpha, you can be a Muslim, you can be anything. All right? In as much that you're leading people. I know a lot of people that are Muslims, a lot of Alphas who are leading mosque all around. Actually, this last Thursday, I met with one of them. He's actually inviting me to come to their mosque to come and talk about marriage. And I'm going to be going there. So people, please, we are actually in charge of God's people. We must be able to make sure that these people are fed. The Bible says that Jesus said to Peter, he said, "Do you love me?" And Peter said, "Yes, I do." He asked him 3 times. He said, "If you love me, feed my flock." And this is part of feeding the flock. Actually creating this awareness, letting them know that mental health issue is real. It's just exactly like cancer. It's destroying lives every day. We need to be aware of it. We need to create that awareness, and people need to be treated.
Dr. Jola,
Yes,
thank you
ma'am.
so much.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
so much. You nailed it. And God bless you.
Amen.
We really appreciate your time. Thanks for the honor, accepting this invitation and coming here. We
I would
really
say thank you too.
and we have a series coming up. We're going to be focusing on men.
Okay.
We're going to focus on military people because they're dealing with a lot that a lot civilians on the outside, we need to know more about what our veterans and our servicemen are doing,
Yeah.
and then children and adolescents.
Yeah.
I want to put you on the spot and say, if we invite you again to one of these, which mostly maybe men who pick a specific topic, would you be coming to? Would you oblige us and come to help us one more time, maybe during that session?
I would definitely be happy to be part of anything, in as much that we're actually dealing with God's people, trying to save lives. That's what I'm called to do.
Right. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. To all our viewers, if you have any question, please send it in. I will forward it to him and Pastor Shola. Once he has the band, he's currently not active on Facebook. Once he's back, once he's back, where he will also become a member of our group because he wanted to join, but he's not. But we are doing a lot in this group. To all my Mental Health Matters Facebook group, So all the members here, please show some love to Pastor Shola. Thank him for coming on board. We need to let him know that we really appreciate this. And then when he joins, when he comes, we're going to have more of him, and we're going to follow up on this awareness creation for everybody. And thank you so much. I just want to thank you. People are saying thank you here. And on this note, we're going to leave, and we hope to see Pastor Shola one more time. So thank you everyone for watching. Share this and let us know if you have any comments or questions. God bless you all. I love you. So my mental health matters. What about yours? I'll see you next week.